That's a great story, Kenny, because I mean, you hear stories like that, and when somebody, when they know that they are wrong, they usually don't come back and try to correct it. It says a lot about the character and the way these people are to call you back and say, "Hey, we were wrong, and not only we were wrong, we want to give you another opportunity, and then put you in
Yeah,
the Daytona 500." That's amazing. One of the things I wanted to ask you was, you know, I knew that your dad and your older brother Rusty, that I knew you were a hands-on guy. Most of us that grow up around in the business, you know, nobody gives you anything. You learn it just because that's what you do. You build A-frames, you change your ratio, ring and pinions. You work on race cars, camber, caster, toe bumps, just all of it. And man, to see you and Kenny Schrader, what y'all do since you've stepped out of the NASCAR side, you guys, y'all are just really good for auto racing in general because man, y'all travel like you said. You've run the most dirt races, most races probably anybody in the world. Uh, but man, all the kids, the young kids, and the girls and young kids that race, I think you being out there and seeing how hard you race and winning races and seeing, Kenny Wallace, I'm just seeing you at a racetrack's a big deal. It's a NASCAR driver and all your successes and everything you've done. And to see you at a 3/8 mile dirt track in freaking Peoria, Kansas or Iowa or wherever, uh, and you said it earlier, you work on your race car, you fabricate it, you drive it to the racetrack. When people think about Kenny Wallace, Rusty Wallace, Mike Wallace, they don't look at it that way. You know what I mean? And when you drive your truck and trailer into the racetrack, unload it, win races, fix it, set it up, it really inspires these young kids. And I think over the years, you've seen a lot of these kids. Man, I like to talk chassis and setups, and even today, Kenny, in the garage, when we got some downtimes, I'm over talking to the bigger teams and the drivers about, hey man, bump stops and just chassis talk, and a lot of them, they don't understand what I'm saying. They can't talk to me because they don't know, and I think, man, that's nuts. You don't know about, bump stops and pigtailing and wedge. And I mean, they have no clue. It's blown me away over the years. And you understand what I'm talking about. But Kenny Wallace going to a local dirt track, a 3/8 mile dirt track, wherever in the country, you pull in that racetrack, unload your race car, work on it, race it, fix it. Man, it really inspires our youth, the future racers of America, whether they make it to NASCAR or not. I think what you do and how you do, I think it really educates young racers on how it needs to be done. And if you're fortunate enough that you have the means, or your parents have the means, or grandparents, where you pay everybody, it makes a better race car driver when you know how to build a race car, when you understand the springs and shocks and how the race car works. And I really think, just your experience and everything you've done and then what you do today really inspires, and it makes auto racing better just because of your knowledge and how you work.
well, thank you very much. I think that everybody needs somebody. I don't think any race car driver stands on top of the car and goes, I did it all myself. I was poor. I lived in a creek. That don't happen. Everybody needs help. We all needed help. But, fast forwarding to your comment about me dirt racing, I had a lot of shortcuts because I found myself 22 years old and not even racing. And my brother Rusty, gave me a lot of knowledge, and I immediately went asphalt racing. Well, when I got, towards the end of my NASCAR career, I said, boy, I really want to learn how to race dirt cars, because AJ Foyt, Mario Andretti, they'd run the Indy 500, and then they'd go an hour down the road to, the Terre Haute, Indiana, Terre Haute action track. And, when you look at AJ Foyt, Mario Andretti, and all those guys, whether it's Dale Sr., they could do it all. They could race asphalt, they could run road courses, they could run dirt. And I found myself, all I'm doing is running asphalt. I just run asphalt. And I wanted to try dirt. And so I started trying it, and I wasn't very good at it. So I felt like it was a video game. I just had to keep trying, keep trying. And got very competitive at it. And, and then when I was doing it, I had one employee, always paying that employee, 50 grand a year, spending a couple $100,000 on the dirt car. And now over the last 5 years, I'm just not willing to do it. I got older and couldn't get any help. So I had to go do it all myself. And, but you mentioned one thing that is true. About 5 years ago, people started seeing me just show up at the racetracks with me and one other guy, and me always driving the truck and trailer, and it seemed like they all calmed down. Until then, they thought I was bringing in, the fans nicknamed it on a lower level. They said that Wallace got that NASCAR money, and that became very popular. And I went with it.
Yeah.
But you have to earn a lot of these great racers' respect. But when they see you doing it all just slowly calmed down and it stopped. There's a price to pay, to doing good in anything. And this, if you have a good business and you're making money, a lot of your local friends get mad at you. I mean, it's like that in anything. So going and running dirt, David, it was fun. And yes, I put a lot of attention on dirt racing because of Speed TV.
Right.
They'd say, what are you doing this weekend? I said, I'm going to Lakeside, Kansas. And, and boy, it was big. Those racetracks would call me up. So I did shine the spotlight on all these local tracks because I was on Speed TV then. And it took me a long time to, bring some of these great competitors. I once had a great race car driver named Jonathan Davenport. He mentioned one time, he goes, Herman, you don't need any money. I'm like, you're right. I don't, but I'm looking for respect. And
Yes.
And I earned that and I got it. So yeah, that's a multi, everything you said was a mouthful, and there's
Yes.
so much involved in that,
Absolutely.